Hello and good evening. You're watching AWANI Tonight with me, Hafiz Marzukhi. Any convict looking for a pardon or sentence reduction must formally submit their proposal to the Pardons Board before its next meeting. The Istana Negara says such applications must follow constitutional procedures and only then can be considered during the Pardon Board's meeting.
The palace stressed that the Yang di-Pertuan Agong's powers under Article 42 of the Federal Constitution allow him to grant pardons, suspend, reduce or commute sentences based on the Pardons Board's advice. The clarification came amid debates over Datuk Sri Najib Razak's house arrest. Najib is currently on a 12-year prison sentence for corruption after being convicted in the SRC international case. He has appealed his sentence and the Court of Appeal is set to hear it on Monday.
Pakatan Harapan confirms it will not be involved in the solidarity gathering for former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak, the Palace of Justice, this coming Monday. According to Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, any matters involving Barisan Nasional should be referred to the chairperson of that party.
Isnin Barisan Nasional akan... Isnin itu tak ada pengurusi Barisan Nasional lah. Tapi pada Pakatan Harapan Datuk Sri? Pakatan Harapan tak terlibat. Tak terlibat Okey, baik. Terima kasih banyak.
The gathering is organised as a show of support from UMNO members for Najib. A directive letter from PAS has also gone viral, encouraging its members to participate in the gathering. The Court of Appeal has set January 6 to hear Najib's appeal against the High Court's decision on the Royal Addendum. Previously, the High Court rejected Najib's application for judicial review and notice of motion to submit additional evidence related to the Royal Addendum, allegedly issued by the former king regarding a house arrest. Selangor Police have suspended concert permits pending investigations into 4 deaths at a concert in Bandar Sunway, Subang Jaya recently. Selangor Police Chief Dato' Hussein Omar Han says the ban, effective immediately, will remain until organisers can ensure effective management and prevent crimes like drug distribution at concerts. Police earlier reported that 4 deaths at the Pinkfish concert were linked to ecstasy use with possible drug sales at the venue. Hussein added that over 14,000 people attended the concert, a significant number given the venue's size, which likely contributed to overcrowding and breathing difficulties worsened by the drug and alcohol consumption. He said that future permits will require adherence to strict procedures, including capacity limits, drug prevention, and proper ventilation. The Health Ministry is set to launch its War on Salt campaign, aiming to reduce salt intake among Malaysians. Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad says the campaign is in the planning stages, with the Nutrition and Public Health divisions collaborating to tackle salt consumption.
Zulkifli said the initiative would be a continuation of the ministry's campaigns against sugar and tobacco to foster a healthier society. He emphasized that reducing salt intake is crucial as it contributes to chronic diseases and premature deaths, adding that RM1 investment in combating salt intake could save 60 ringgit in healthcare costs. A WHO report in 2023 linked excessive sodium intake to 1.89 million diet-related deaths annually. It added that sodium reduction is a cost-effective way to improve health and curb non-communicable diseases.
Malaysia's ASEAN chairmanship this year is expected to have a positive impact on the country's economy. Communications Minister Fahmi Fadzil says that Malaysia will host approximately 323 ASEAN meetings throughout the year, including the ASEAN Summit, which is scheduled to take place this May.
According to him, the ASEAN chairmanship will bring significant benefits to the people, particularly in the states where these events are being held. In addition, he urged the Community Communication Department and the Information Department to actively engage in conveying the outcomes of the ASEAN meetings to the public in clear and understandable language. He said that this is crucial to ensure that the people do not feel disconnected from the ASEAN event. Malaysia officially assumes the ASEAN chairmanship on January 1st this year under the theme Inclusivity and Sustainability, reflecting the country's aspiration to foster a unified and prosperous ASEAN.
Vietnam's capital, Hanoi, has been covered in thick smog over the recent weeks, putting it at the top of a list of the world's most polluted cities. Air quality levels reach hazardous with an air quality index score of 305 at one point. The measurements were based on live rankings kept by Swiss group IQ Air, which tracks pollution levels in cities across the world. The thick smog is mostly caused by heavy traffic, trash burning and industrial activities, which has significantly reduced early morning visibility in the capital city's streets over the past few weeks. According to a 2021 World Bank report, emissions from Hanoi's 8 million registered vehicles made up 30% of air particulate pollution and industry emissions another 30%. We'll go for a short break. Stay with us.
Rambut gugur lagi? Macam mana Gunakan Pantene Baharu dengan provitamin mikro yang meresap dan menguatkan rambut dari dalam. Rambut 10 kali lebih kuat terhadap rambut gugur. Pantene Baharu.
Pelbagai inovasi dipersembahkan.
Hello, this is Find Me.
Mencuri perhatian para juri.
Lesung tradisional, tapi saya tak nampak dia tuan air tadi. So dia buat macam mana?
Penawar luka kronik. Bio Protein Powder.
Integrated Multi-Tropic Aquaculture System. Dengar bunyi ini.
Inovator, Sabtu 9 malam, eksklusif di Astro dan Astro Go.
Kerap menggaru kulit kepala disebabkan kelumur, masalahnya lebih mendalam. Gunalah Head and Shoulders menembusi 5 lapisan untuk membasmi kelumur dan kegatalan. Bebas kelumur sehingga 100%. Head and Shoulders diuji secara dermatologi.
South Korean authorities called off an attempt to arrest impeached President Yoon at his residence today, citing safety concerns after a standoff with his security team. Authorities entered Yoon's compound early in the morning to execute the arrest warrant. They evaded a crowd of protesters outside the compound, but were then confronted by presidential security forces inside.
Officials from a joint team of investigators entered the gates of the presidential compound around 7 a.m. by foot. Once inside, they were outnumbered by the Presidential Security Service personnel, as well as military troops seconded to presidential security. Investigators called off the effort to arrest Yoon around 1:30 p.m. due to concerns over the safety of its personnel due to obstruction, and said it deeply regretted Yoon's attitude of non-compliance. Yoon is under criminal investigation for insurrection over his short-lived martial law declaration on December 3rd. The arrest warrant remains valid until January 6th, giving investigators limited time to detain Yoon, who can only be held for 48 hours without an additional detention warrant.
Tesla ended 2024 on a disappointing note, missing both its self-imposed targets and Wall Street estimates. The company delivered 496,000 vehicles in the fourth quarter, contributing to an overall decline in annual EV sales for the first time in more than a decade.
Despite his earlier optimism, CEO Elon Musk had projected a slight increase in deliveries during the third quarter earnings call. To meet these expectations, Tesla rolled out extensive incentives, including interest-free financing and free fast charging, hoping to entice customers amid rising borrowing costs. However, these efforts fell short as Tesla's deliveries for the year dropped 1.1%, totaling 1.79 million vehicles. The disappointing results reflect not only a cooling demand but also increased competition in the EV market, notably from Chinese leader BYD. Tesla also faced challenges such as scaled-back subsidies in Europe and the rise of hybrid vehicle sales in the US. Tesla's much-anticipated Cybertruck, which began deliveries in late 2023, failed to significantly boost growth during its first full year on the market.
The man who drove a Tesla Cybertruck that exploded outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas had shot himself dead before the blast. Las Vegas police have identified the driver as 37-year-old Matthew Allen Livelsberger, an active-duty U.S. Special Forces soldier.
The highly decorated army soldier had packed the truck with fireworks. The explosion caused minor injuries to 7 people but did not significantly damage the hotel. Officials credit the Cybertruck's design for containing the blast, which sent the force upward rather than outward. Livelsberger's body was identified through tattoos and personal items. Investigators are still determining the motive, but there are indications of personal issues, including a possible fight with his wife before the incident. Livelsberger had an extensive military career with deployments to Afghanistan and other countries.
South Korea's Transport Ministry has extended special inspections of all 101 of the Boeing 737-800 jets run by the country's airlines by a week. Jet engine maker GE Aerospace has also joined the probe into the deadly plane crash on Sunday that killed 179 people.
The inspections were supposed to be completed on Friday but were extended to January 10th for additional checks. The ministry said it would be reviewing the engines, maintenance records and landing gear on all 737-800s, warning that airlines' operations could be suspended for serious violations. South Korean investigators on Friday began lifting the wreckage of the aircraft. Jeju Air Flight 2216, carrying 181 people from Thailand, barely landed and exploded into flames after hitting an embankment, killing everyone aboard except 2 flight attendants.
2 people have died and at least 20 others injured after a small plane crashed through the roof of a furniture warehouse in Southern California on Thursday. Officials are still investigating the cause of the crash and assessing the casualties.
Aerial photos of the scene show parts of the plane inside the building. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, a single-engine Vance RV-10 departed the Fullerton Municipal Airport around 2 p.m., climbed to 900 feet, and soon after, the pilot requested an immediate return. The plane made a 180-degree turn but crashed 1,000 feet short of the runway, hitting the warehouse and catching fire. 10 people were taken to the hospital while 8 were treated and released at the scene.
Taiwan's largest shipping company, Evergreen Marine, has announced a year-end bonus for its staff amounting to an average of 20 months' salary. The significant profit growth in 2024 allowed the shipping company to reward its employees with nearly 2 years' worth of bonuses.
In the third quarter of 2024 alone, Evergreen reported a nearly 110% increase in revenue compared to the previous year, reaching $5 billion, with net profit total $2.03 billion. The company's generous year-end bonus is no surprise to its employees, given its history of large payouts. In 2021, it offered a 40-month bonus, followed by 45 to 50 months in 2022. Evergreen's profits are expected to keep rising in 2025, fueled by global factors like the Red Sea crisis, where Houthi militants have targeted commercial vessels in protest of the Israel-Gaza conflict.
Now that wraps up AWANI Tonight. Check out our web portal, keeping you informed on the critical events shaping our world, all in one place at international.astroawani.com. That's all we have for tonight. I'm Hafiz Marzukhi. Thanks for watching and good night.